Are we being a bit too easy on them? This time last week, we were particularly harsh on Spurs, losing 2-1 against Leipzig.
Well, Spurs are not a good side. We've seen them play recently. They're not a good side.
But what I mean is we sat here and we said Mourinho, this, that and the other. It was all very critical. Here we're complimenting Bayern a lot, but no one's questioned Frank Lampard. It's almost like, well, Chelsea are a young team. They had a transfer ban.
Well, who questioned Tottenham losing to Leipzig? I don't think many people thought Tottenham would win against Leipzig. Leipzig are second in the Bundesliga. They were top for a while. They're a better side. Tottenham have regressed. They have injuries. They're not a good side. They're not a good side to watch. Chelsea are a better side, but clearly not good enough to compete with Bayern Munich. You can look at Lampard and say, went with the three again at the back and the wing-backs. That's a mistake. It's hindsight. He could have gone to a back four. They've got the personnel. It's something he chose to do off the back of Alonso's good performance and Reece James's good performance, amongst others. But it just didn't happen, and they were exposed.
The criticism following the Spurs game was on Jose Mourinho and his handling of the post-game press conference and the interviews he gave, in which he was already giving you reasons as to why he had lost that game and why he would lose in the weekend against Chelsea. We talked about it, we mentioned it, well documented, captain deflected. That was the criticism, because it's a team that could potentially have done better than what they did against Leipzig, and they were not allowed to do so by their manager. As it pertains to Chelsea, it's a team that has shown to be inconsistent. So this is not a surprise. It should not be a surprise that Bayern goes into Chelsea and wins the game in the manner in which they did. The surprising part is, for the first 45 minutes, it looked like, okay, maybe. But as I just mentioned earlier, when Bayern Munich went to a different level, Chelsea had no answer for that.
Meanwhile, as you mention it and use the nice phrase to describe it, it just has clicked for Gnabry at exactly the right time.
There's nothing better to see from the outside looking in, to see a player who had his trials and tribulations and was on loan at West Brom from Arsenal, and he couldn't for some reason couldn't cut it. He's a world beater. I mean, he's quality. He's quick. He's strong. He's alert. He knows what's around him. He's got a picture. He can score goals. He can set them up. And I can only credit the lad himself, because nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
And you can sit back and say, well, Arsenal let him go and that coach didn't see this. But sometimes a player in training might have an injury, a lack of confidence, a bad attitude, or whatever it is, lifestyle. And then it just sorts itself out. And the other side, he's playing with better players.
Yeah.
He goes to Munich and you're not allowed to be slacking.
No, and you're alongside Robert Lewandowski. Frank, is it fair to say the best striker in the world at the moment?
Well, if he's not the number one, he's not that far. He shows so much composure, selfishness as well. You know, when in the way that he served twice, where especially the first assist where he could have shot. And he's a fantastic player. I love the way he plays, the way he thinks football, the way he makes his runs. Shows me that he knows very well what he has to do, and he does it very, very well. On top of it, he's a top scorer, and he never gives up. He was still, after 3-0, he was still showing himself, I want the ball, give me the ball, I'm going to run after and when I lose, as soon as I lose the ball, sorry, I'm going to chase the guy. I mean, fantastic mentality, fantastic player. Yeah. If he's not the first, he's not too far.
He's the first.
He's the first.
Yeah.
He's head and shoulders above everybody else right now.
He's the first.
Hold up play, link up play, runs the channels, batters defenders around, heads it on, clever.
Those 2 assists today were
The
brilliant.
assist when he could easily have shot.
Yeah.
Most people would have shot. The goal scoring, the work rate. Best by a long shot.
There's another thing that he does quite well, and it's the timing of his runs. As the crosses are coming in, you always see him attacking the ball at the perfect moment. And that takes some patience, that takes some understanding, that takes anticipation, knowing where the ball is going to go, and then to have the change of pace to get there and finish the chance. He's something else right now.
What do you reckon odds for Chelsea to qualify for the next round?
I would say 1 to 100 against.
50 to 1. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich 500 to 1 on. That means you have to put 500 pounds, dollars, euros, whatever you want.
Well, I tell you what, I'm quite happy to put $500 on to win $1.
Well, there you go. Perfect.
What? I'm getting $1.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.